Good morning. Isn't that lovely? I'm so grateful to be with you here today. What an honor and a beautiful blessing it is for me to be able to be in this space with you. I've just got to tell a little story about your pastor for a minute. She is one of my beloved friends from Divinity School, and we had dinner last night to catch up, but it'll be 10 years since we graduated. I hate to put a timeline on us, but we've known each other more than a decade. And she has absolutely been one of the most caring and insightful humans that I get to love in this world. What a blessing it is that I get to rotate in her orbit, and then I get to be someone she cares about. Because that surely is a blessed place to be. And I'm grateful that she would even see fit, and that your church would see fit, that I could preach at this wonderful Houston sermon series. I want to let you know I'm a little bit, my son's here with me. I have 4 children, as you can see in my bio. And he is one that kind of travels with me and helps me out. And then also, at times, he'll stay up late at night talking to me. Also, when we're driving here, he plays all these rap artists and then has me listen to their lyrics. He's like, "Mom, read the lyrics." And then he tells me all the drama that's in the rap world. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, and why is he saying this? And I realized, he's like, "Mom, listen to this one song, this rap song." And this artist was saying, Michael, what was his name? The one who's like, there were several, I know, but I'm trying to get through it. No Cap. Okay, now, just don't, y'all. I'm 51, raising kids of Gen Z, okay? And in this song, he was rapping about that he thought that fame and money, he would be in a better place. But he found that once he reached all those things, it still wasn't it. And the song is this guttural cry from, I don't know, I reached for this heights all my life, and I got here. Now what do I do that I'm still not happy? That I still haven't found fulfillment? It is this most beautiful rap song that's so honest about fame and fortune and all these things. And I want to thank my son for moving me in different spheres of art and music and asking me to share in the journey of different folk. And I feel like this Houston series is a little bit of maybe sometimes y'all listening to rap music and finding out how we're narrating a world. So in my black, brown woman body, who was born and raised Muslim, who recently buried my father according to Islamic tradition, and was blessed enough to be accepted by the mosque and to really set foot in a mosque and bury him according to their beliefs. I am also a mother married to a white man from Utah who still listens to hard rock and Metallica and AC/DC, and I think he is the whitest person I know. And happens to love me deeply. And I often thought that my bio should change. That I don't need y'all to know where I graduated, where I studied. I would just want a bio that told you the people who loved on me. Like, I am Judith's daughter and Carl's daughter. I am loved by 4 children. I am Stacy's friend. I have these beautiful people in my life, and I feel like that's the bio that has created me. That's the bio that matters. And so I think one day I'll do that. And the names won't mean anything to anybody, but they'll mean something to me. And it'll be special if I did a bio that simply said, Stacy loves me. That's enough. I'm a child of God. So as we move in Ephesians 5, and I move in this text, and I get kind of excited about moving in text. And as I worked this week to figure out what I wanted to say to y'all, I've been moving in love and light. You know how we use those terms kind of frequently, love and light. But Ephesians 5, now, Paul, whoever is writing this, Paul is at this time in prison. And he's writing this letter to the Ephesians from prison. So I also want to talk about the incarceration and what happens in incarceration and what kind of letters may come out of incarceration. Which is interesting because this country tends to incarcerate more people than anybody else, any other country. We're right up there at the top, and it tends to be a lot. If you've ever read Michelle Alexander's The New Jim Crow, I kind of wonder what art, what words, what letters come from incarceration. What would an incarceration person ask of a congregation, ask of a Christian people? What is it from incarceration? Is the God you know that you want to share with people who are supposedly free? And before we get to the verses that I'm going to stop on, I want to start at the beginning of that, because right before verse 8, where we're starting my sermon, I want to start at verse 1. Be ye therefore followers of God and dear children, and walk in love. I love that the first verses of this, now I'm a little Baptist trained, so if I get a little loud, just, you're more than likely to, you can go like this, Fatimah, calm it down. But the first thing he does in this letter is tell you identity is so important. Who we are and who we think we are and who we're becoming and who God says we are is important. Sometimes our whole lives, I have a middle schooler, young brown girl that I'm raising, and middle school age for anybody. We just went to a big meeting on DEI, and everybody's like, well, everybody's struggling to figure out who they are, so it's just a very, very fragile time. As Christians, believers in a loving God, it is important that the first verses are, you are dear children, you are beloved children of God. Therefore, walk in love. You are loved children of God, therefore walk in God. First is your identity. First is who you are, who God says you are. So I love that the first verse is simply telling you, do not be mistaken of who you are. You are a beloved child of God. I want that to sink in. You're beloved. Perhaps on all of our bios, the first word should be, I am beloved. God has called me a beloved child. Now, if we could put a period there and that's the end, that's one thing. But Paul, and the writer of this epistle, says, as such, I want you to walk in love. As a beloved one, walk in love. Now move to verse 8. For ye are sometimes in darkness, but ye are the light of the Lord. Again, identity. Who are you? You are a light of the Lord. And as such, walk as children of light. You, me, are light of the Lord. Walk as children of light. There's an old song. This little light of mine. I'm going to do what? This little light of mine. That's right. It's an old children gospel song. But I want to tell you, I have one of my sons who's not with me today. I tried to call him this morning to make sure I got the physics of this right, but he was still asleep, so of no help to me. But anyway, needless to say, there are 3 types of light. So let me go, and this is very good for a Baptist preacher, because we love 3s. There are 3 types of ways that light can move. I also want you to know that in this same chapter, light and love are both spoken of in the same letter. Boom. You are beloved children of God, walk in love. You are children of light in the Lord, walk in light. So I decided to look up light and what it is. Do you know? Now, if any of you study physics, go ahead and correct me, okay? Because I did not pass this class, okay? So, you got a preacher up here perpetrating physics. Now, light, the speed of light is the fastest entity in the universe. It is known the speed of light. Even when they talk about Superman, he's faster than the speed of light. That's the measure. So I want to say it's almost supernatural when you walk in light, how fast light moves. How fast light moves. How much it moves from us to another. Light moves at a neck-breaking pace. And there are 3 ways, and it actually moves in straight lines. It's a straight thing. But here's the light is a form of energy that can be transformed. It moves 186,000 miles per second, give or take. Light can be done in 3 different ways, and I want us to do this spiritually. If we are to walk in light, let's figure out, because in later verses it would say, I want you to be wise with your light. So, also, with the speed in which light moves, we are to show wisdom with our light. I love that. I've been praying for wisdom for a long time, and I've decided I don't know how that's going. I still miss meetings. My kids always tell me, tighten up. You need to lock in. Why are you always missing things? But I always tell them, I'm 51 and perimenopausal. Ain't nothing I remember. Not even your names most days. Take it easy. 3 forms of light, y'all. You can refract light, reflect it, and diffract it. I'm going to take you with me. Refract it. I'm going to start with reflect. Reflect is when light hits you or hits an object like a mirror and it bounces back the image. Let me say that again. Reflect. When light hits you and you bounce back the image. Do you know one of the greatest things I love about being married to this man, Eric Sorensen? I didn't even take Sorensen because half of the people in North Carolina can't pronounce that last name. Denmark, Danish, Sorensen. But when I forget who I am, I remember working in a certain place, and it shook me how they treated me in that place as a black, brown woman. And I started to forget that I was a child of light, because this world can get pretty dim on certain bodies, on all of our bodies at times, on all of our souls. The world can start to dim our light and tell us we're something we're not. Start to speak darkness into our light. And then it gets harder and harder to walk in light. But sometimes you need great reflectors in your life. People who will reflect the light in you back to you, who will remind you, you are light. Do not let this world tell you anything different. Do not let this season preach darkness to you. Do not let this person or this job or the way politics is moving dim who you are. Whether you be immigrant, incarcerated, queer, trans, they do not get to take your light. So perhaps walking in light is that we get the blessing of moving with people, that we get to reflect to them, no, you are light, you are good, you are loved. Let me be a mirror to the best parts of you. Let me be a mirror to how much the divine loves you. Let my light reflect your light. Maybe the call of walking as children of light is that we get to mirror to each other when we start to fade and dim because this world gets so hard and life is filled with swift transition, that we have beautiful light bearers with us who will reflect light, our light, back to us. May you be good reflectors. And may, when someone is telling you how powerful and how loved you are, may you receive your own reflection well. Let them speak light to you. Let them remind you of just how glorious and gorgeous you are. May we be good reflectors of light. Second, Micah, watch my time. I think I only got like 6-7 minutes. When I got 2, wave your hands, okay? Stacy, he's gonna watch me, okay? In the black church, we go forever. And my children are always like, why can't we ever tell when church is gonna end? And I was like, that's a good point. We can reflect, we can refract light. Do you know what refract means? We bend and change its direction. So when light hits a change of speed, the bending of light as it passes through you. And do you know that as light sometimes bends and moves through us, hits a different change of speed, it can magnify things? What is it if we move in great spiritual refraction where we magnify our gratitude? Where we magnify that things hit us and we refract it back. We bend it so that way it is moved in gratitude, it is moving in beautiful magnification of the glory of God. What is it to take light, refract it, let it bend, and become something magnificent and magnified? Last, diffracted light. This is one of my favorite because I had to study it for a while, y'all. Diffracted light is light that passes through an obstacle. Come on now. It's light that goes through an obstacle, a block, something, and it goes through a very narrow space. And what does it do with the obstacle of the narrow space? It spreads greater light into a greater pattern. So it hits almost like a kaleidoscope. That light hits, it's a narrow, small space, and then it expands beautifully. No obstacle, no narrow space will light be withheld. Put an obstacle in front of light and watch light create rainbows. Ask light what it will do if you give it a narrow space. And it'll say, I'll create a bigger pattern of goodness and color and light. What to do with your light when we face obstacles in this world? We bend and bounce and move and magnify. You have every capability of moving in the many colors of light. You have very ability to hit an obstacle in a narrow space, and your light expands and casts glorious light and have a spectrum of color. What is it to be children of light, and every light it opens up? Give me something narrow. And watch God's light turn it into this kaleidoscope of color. What is it as spiritual beings to see the hardship of this world, to take the narrowness of poverty, the narrowness of racism, the narrowness of homophobia, the narrowness of xenophobia, and say it will bend and bounce and move so that we'll create greater light, bigger light, more color. It'll be more vibrant as justice rings. It'll be more tantalizing to the soul as mercy and grace abound. There will be no narrow space. There'll be no obstacle that light cannot bend and bounce and move around. We as light bearers and a God of light who says, I am the light of the world, that we're not able to reflect to each other's light, that we're not able to bend and bounce and move in the most beautiful ways in the spectrum of light. Do not let obstacles, do not let this world dim you. Do not let darkness win. It does not have the last word. It does not get to claim our light. It does not get to sink us into places, because we know how to move with the God who's faster than the speed of light. We are actually moving at 186,000 miles an hour. That's your light. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. To my fellow light bearers, we're going to shine. Amen.